Good morning. We are back on this beautiful. Aren't y'all glad that the fall mornings are here? The cool crispness of fall feels so good and makes me feel like perky, like I have an extra spring in my step. Well, good morning. We are continuing to look at happiness on our morning mannas this week and asking ourselves, can we truly be happy in any circumstance? Or are there really just circumstances where happiness cannot be known? We are continuing the Old Testament to look at these to answer these questions. And we are in one of the Old Testament history books, the book of Joshua, Joshua 1 6 through 9. Hear these words: Be strong and courageous, for you shall put this people in possession of the land that I swore to their ancestors to give them. Only be strong and be very courageous, being careful to act in accordance with all the law that my servant Moses commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, so that you may be successful wherever you go. This book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth. You shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to act in accordance with all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous, and you shall be successful. I hereby command you, be strong, be courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. I hope you have noticed by now over these 3 weeks how interrelated these last couple of weeks on happiness are. Our habits, our community, and our ability to let go are all related to one another. Have you noticed that? Our habits help us form community, but our community also helps us cultivate habits. And letting go frees us to be fully connected to a community, but that same healthy community that helps us form habits also helps us to let go. Really, the habits of faith we cultivate that draw us to happiness, and the community we connect ourselves with that draws us to happiness, and the ability to let go that draws us to happiness are all evidence that happiness isn't circumstantial. We hear a repeated lesson this morning in Joshua that connects the last 3 weeks' lessons. Joshua, the new leader of the Israelites after Moses died, reminds the people: one, they are a community. Two, he reminds himself and the community, the Israelites, that they need to continue to practice good habits of faith. And three, they need to let go of the past and move on forward into the promised land. I know that probably he's saying that to himself as much as he's saying it to the Israelites as they have a new leader. And I will confess that I didn't tell you the whole truth yesterday. The Israelites were very hopeful and happy about moving on in to the promised land. But at the same time as being happy and hopeful, they were also apprehensive because Joshua and Caleb and 10 other spies, if you remember that story from Numbers 13, Joshua and Caleb and 12 other spies had already ventured into the promised land to scout things out. And if you remember and want to reread it in Numbers 13, again, Numbers 13, Joshua and Caleb were the only ones to return out of the 12 spies. And they reported that, yes, the land that they were going into was overflowing with milk and honey and fruit, luscious fruit, big fruit. But there were also giants living in the land who were strong, and their cities were mightily fortified. So, really, who knows what they are going to walk into whenever they cross over into Canaan? There are so many unknowns and variables that they cannot control. These Israelites are a little bit fearful of all that might or might not await them. But what Joshua does is very wise as a leader. He points these people who are mixed with feelings of hopefulness and fear and dread, he points them to what they can control, to remember that they are not alone, that yes, they have each other and that God is with them. He also points them to remember that no matter what, that they need to keep putting their habits of faith into practice, reading God's word day and night, praying, worshiping. And finally, Joshua also points out to them to help them remember to let go of any preconceived notions of what things should be like, and to let go of any longing of the good old days of the past, and to simply let God lead them, knowing that God has a plan, that God has given them the strength and the courage that they need to cross over into the promised land, and that God goes with them. No matter their circumstance, Joshua tells the Israelites, and Joshua reminds us today too, that we can be happy because we are in control of our happiness. Us, along with God, and we have been given the tools to turn to when our circumstances are anything but happy. Remember, we aren't meant to live compartmentalized lives, especially as the people of God. Our faith, our beliefs are to overflow into every area of our lives. And when we truly allow that to happen, happiness can be known no matter what we are going through. So be happy, know happy, and I will see you tomorrow on Wednesday.